What's going on, everybody out there in the YouTube trucking community? Sean Cahalan, Christian Brother Trucker, coming at you again with another video. I'm on a roll. What can I say? Like I said, I've got a really good signal, 5G, and my videos are uploading really quick, and so some of the stuff that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, I'm finally able to post a video, or make a video, post it, and have it go up immediately. So definitely taking advantage of that, right? So all right, so another topic I've been wanting to talk about for a long time is this thought about retirement trucking. And I know some of you guys are like, retirement trucking, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about those guys that are 55, 65 years old, you know, and either they're retiring and they're thinking about stepping into truck driving now that they don't have any other responsibilities keeping them tied down at home, and so they're looking at the trucks going, that looks like fun. Or some one driver that had trained, he was in cybersecurity with a big cybersecurity tech firm, and he was laid off or something like that, and so he decided he was going to come into trucking, and then he was going to go get his own truck, so on and so forth. So he had a bunch of money saved up and a bunch of money that he could put into investments and things like that. So this is what's known as retirement trucking, and this is the thoughts that go along with a guy that says, I've had my eye on these trucks for a long time. I've thought about driving truck for a living, but I've never been willing to make the commitment to live an OTR lifestyle because I've had too many commitments at home, and so that's what was holding me back. But now that I don't have these, overarching commitments at home, I can go ahead and look at trucking as a form of, either part-time work, easy work, or a way to work towards retirement, or a way to where you can live in like this limbo in between not retired but not really working. The idea makes sense on the surface until, again, you get hit with the reality of it. And so if you're an older gentleman and you're in your 50s, 55, 65 years old, and you're thinking, I'm going to get my CDL and I'm going to be semi-retired and I'm going to drive a semi. That kind of goes together, right? Semi-retired. Maybe I'll make this video and call it semi-retired. Or retirement trucking. So fun to say. There's a lot of things, and it's an easy thought concept to go into until these drivers are faced with the reality. And I've ran into a couple of drivers that had this idea and they both came to the same conclusion. It's work. As soon as it gets tough, they quit. They give up. And it's like, why is it that they end up giving up? Now, I don't know this for sure. These are just assessments that I've made based on my observations. And so this is all conjecture. This is just my take, my honest opinion. And so, don't take this as gospel truth, but I'm pretty sure I'm on par with the cause and effect of this, because I have experienced this type of situation for myself, and I'll explain that in context with what I'm going to say about why semi-retirement is not really a realistic thing to do. Okay? So, you're older, you've got extra time on your hands, all your kids are grown up and out of the house, and you've got the time to be able to go get your CDL, and you're going to commit to the training, to go through training and become a truck driver. Okay. Your overall end goal is you want to buy a truck and you want to put it on the road, but you need to get the experience that you need in order to get to that next step, in order to be able to put that plan into motion. Because the last thing you want to do is buy a truck, not know what you're doing, and think that you're going to be able to come out here as an owner-operator, even if you own your own truck, and it's your truck and you sign it on with somebody and you have no experience, you're most likely not going to be able to find a place to lease it onto, and you're most likely not going to survive even with a very minimal truck payment, even if you own the truck outright. Well, why is that, John? Well, because you still have expenses that you have to pay, and really you have to know what you're doing, or you're going to run into problems out here. Okay, so what is it that I have observed that both of these drivers that I've been around have made this decision to give up on the idea? Well, because truck driving is work. It's not retirement. This isn't something that you come out here and you do when you feel like doing it. It's a company job, okay? So what I mean by this is you're going to expose yourself to being employed by an employer who has an asset, i.e. the truck that you're driving, and that truck that you're driving has to produce a certain amount of miles per week, per month, so on and so forth, to be a positive asset for them. And you as a driver are also an asset for them. You're an employee, but you are in an asset producing income that's going to then pay the bills and make a profit for the business. Okay, it's a job, plain and simple. In order to gain the experience that you need to gain, in order to go and do your own thing, you need to be a good employee. And a lot of people, especially that are older, are a little bit more set in their ways. And if you don't have the resolve or the what's your why, as some people say, why are you getting into trucking? If the reasoning behind you getting into trucking is not centered around, priorities, and you have to have a drive and a purpose that's going to be in alignment that makes it bearable for you. If it's just an idea and it's just kind of a fun idea until it's not fun anymore, then when the trucking gets tough, you're going to give up on the idea and you're going to say, well, I really don't have to do this, so I'm going to go do something else. And that's what I've seen with the two older gentlemen that I've seen that had this idea, and they both had this idea. Now, keep in mind that 2,500 miles a week to 3,000 miles a week is pretty much what you're going to be expected to produce as a company driver out here. And it's not something, let's see if I can block some of the sunlight. That's the expectation on the truck. The truck needs to produce about about 8,000 to 10,000 miles a month to be a good asset for a company. And in order for you to be a good driver, that's what they're going to want to see out of that truck. Otherwise, you're not considered, quote unquote, a good employee, and the asset that you're driving, the truck that you're driving, is not going to be a good producing asset for them. Okay, so it's going to create issues. It's going to create issues with your fleet manager. It's going to create attitude problems because what you want to do is not what your company needs and expects you to do. And so, like I said, when it starts to feel like work and not retirement, you're going to get uncomfortable, you're going to get upset, you're going to get mad, and you're going to give up on the dream. Okay. So, is there a way that a guy can be successful at this route? And, I'm going to say yes, but I'm also going to say if. If a guy is to take a realistic approach at this, what I would say he would need to do is you would need to set a goal for yourself, and you would need to almost like hold yourself to the same standard that you would hold yourself at if you had the same responsibilities that you had 20 years ago. And I know that's a stretch in, relative thought and everything else, but honestly, if you're not willing to come out here and be a good employee and do as good of a job as you can for a solid year to gain the experience that you need to gain to go do your own thing, then you're not paying your dues and you're not going to get to where you want to be. If it was easy, you know that saying, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So, you know, gains don't come without pain. And if, like I said, if you're not willing to come in and value the experience, this is the other thing too, is you don't value the experience that you're getting because in your mind, I'm just driving a truck down the road, you know? Well, yes and no. You know, in this industry, everybody is held at the same standard. What do I mean by this? And this is kind of relative, but what I mean by this is, you know, within company jobs, when you're looking to move up or you're looking to move to the next step or the next level in your career, you have to have 6 months to 1 year of experience, safe, without accidents, incident free, with no tickets, your driving record and everything else. You need to have a good driving record, and you need to have a safety record that reflects that you're a safe driver. That way when you go and get your truck, your insurance rates are going to be affordable. No insurance company out there is going to insure you as a truck owner, and they're not going to give you an insurance policy without having a minimum, I think it's a minimum 1 year experience, OTR. But your driving record is going to play a major portion on how much you are going to have to pay for that, okay? So value the experience and value the record. And honestly, you know, it's like I said, when you get older, you get more set in your ways. You're like, I've already paid all my dues. I've already done everything I've needed to do. Now I just want it to be fun. Now I just want it to be exciting. And, you know, with these gentlemen, from what I've seen, it's exciting for a while until it gets hard, until it gets difficult, until you start having, you know, 2 a.m. dock appointments, or you're having to drive all night long, or you have to push really hard to make an appointment. And then when you start dealing with, you know, difficult brokers or difficult shippers or whatever the case may be, and things get hard, that's when you sit there and you go, how bad do I want this? And it's usually based on feelings, right? And so, you know, a lot of the decisions that we make out here are usually based on feelings. If we think that it's going to be fun and then it turns out to not be fun, then we usually have bad feelings mixed in with that, and we go, well, this isn't fun anymore. I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna invest my money over here, or I'm gonna invest my money over there. In pretty much both of these scenarios, one was the one driver had family members that were sick, and so he decided to go home and do that rather than do what he wanted to do, which was get the experience, get his own truck, do his own thing. The other gentleman was pretty much the same thing. You know, once it got challenging, plan B became a lot more better. Because let's face it, life out here on the road, it's hard, it's work, and it's a lifestyle. And if you don't like the lifestyle, if you can't adapt to the lifestyle, and the lifestyle doesn't become ingrained in what you do and how you act and what you do out here, it's gonna chew you up and spit you out. And you're, you know, and I've seen this trucking industry do that to a lot of people. If you're, you know, if you're an older person and this is your idea of what you're gonna do, let me save you some time. This isn't fun. It's fun until it's not fun anymore. But you've got to realize that this is work. And the stress and what it is that we do out here, it's work all day, every day. It's a grind. So let me save you some time. If you're thinking that you're going to come into this and it's going to be easy, and it's going to be fun, and you're going to get to drive all over and see the country. And that's what they use in their advertisements, right? A lot of these big mega fleets, they're like, oh, get paid to travel. This isn't a travel agency. Okay? This is shipping. This is logistics. You know, hurry up and get to your shipper so that you can pick up the load, and hurry up and get to your destination, and don't go out a route, because if you go out a route, you know, so you're told where to go, when to pick up loads, when to deliver them, what routes to take, where to fuel, where to get the truck maintenance. It's work. You're told what to do. You're an employee. This is work. It's not fun. There might be certain aspects of it that's enjoyable. I mean, I really enjoy the scenery. But I'm not delusional, and I don't sit here and go, wow, you know, I'm on vacation, you know. I have met a lot of drivers out here that come out here and act like they're on vacation, and they don't drive. And you've got, you know, any company you go to work for, you've got drivers that struggle to put up 7,500 miles a month, 8,000 miles a month, and they're complaining because they don't have any money. And it's like, okay, well, it's not that hard to figure out. You know, if you want to make the money, you got to put in the miles. You got to drive. You got to treat it like a job. You got to, you know. And so, if you want to get to the point where you can be semi-retired and own your own truck, and you go and you buy your own truck and you do all this, you've got to pay your dues. You've got to treat it like a job, at least until you get to where you can afford, by paying your dues. You might have the money, great, but you still got to get the experience that you need. And so it's almost like you've got to treat your source of income like you've got to treat the experience as your income. You're gaining experience as you go. And it's hard because, you know, you come up all your life and you're thinking, well, I've always worked for money. I've always worked for money. Well, I have the money, but you don't have the experience that you need in order to gain the freedom that you want. And so you've got to change the mental currency that you're working for, whereas you're no longer doing it for the money. You're no longer doing it to send the money home to your kiddos at home and the wife and everything else to pay the bills. You're paying your dues to gain the experience that you need. And that experience that you need, just make that mental switch when you come out here. It's a job, and that's what you're going to be paid in. Value that. Because if you don't value the experience, you're not going to make it far. So I think that, you know, if this is your idea and I can give you some advice, this would be my advice, is don't come out here and think that this is going to be a vacation job. It's still a job and it's still work, but you've got to understand that your currency that you're working for is the valuable experience that you're getting, that you have to have in order to get your truck, get it licensed, and get it insured. Because an insurance company is not going to cover you unless you have the experience that you need out here. So those are my thoughts on that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and share. And as always, God bless you all, and thanks for watching.